I guess we're going to be doing the Adwa thing. Never.
Yay.
What are you doing?
Happy International Women's Day to y'all, fellow women.
Happy International Women's Day.
Thank you, Ben.
To us, we associate with you.
Thank you. Thank you. We like that because we can do it by ourselves. We need men like you to support us and also highlight the challenges that we face. One of those really stares us in the face every day is, inequalities, and it's in every aspect of our lives. And today I'm happy that we're highlighting on one of the very important ones. Yeah. Because, per the records, we women tend to live longer than men. Yeah. If you look at the work, the labor front, we earn less than you guys do. So if we're going to live longer and we have less pension and sometimes no pension at all, you can imagine the consequences of things that we like. Yeah. So I'm happy that today we're talking about pensions and the focus is on women as we look at International Women's Day. This is critical because, a lot of women also tend to do the care kind of work. So siblings, your sisters, your wives are taking care of the sick, they're taking care of the home, they're taking care of the children. Those things don't
multifaceted,
with pay necessarily. Yeah. And so what kind of pension schemes are there for women like that? All of us, I'm happy that we're talking about this today. It's critical.
Very interesting concern there. And it just brings to mind something that, years ago came to the fore. Even the BBC, and the payment structures and a number of issues that came up with regard to equal pay for equal work.
Absolutely.
And the fact that there were people on a similar pedestal in terms of what they were delivering, the work they were doing, how many years they had spent in that establishment. Yet the yawning gap that seemed to be there between the male workforce and the female workforce, people doing the same thing. So Absolutely. It is indeed a reality, and this is an age-old problem. It's not a problem that started today. There were times when women were not allowed to exercise the franchise, women were not counted when certain decisions were being made. We've come very far, but there's still a whole lot more to be done.
There is.
Something else I'm happy about when it comes to International Women's Day today, the bit about focusing on not just the gender equity or gender equality situation, but the impact of women at a time like this in fighting the COVID-19 pandemic. Unfortunately, today we'll be highlighting one of those. So many things to talk about today when it comes to women, and let's bring them to the fore. I think every year, it appears every year when we celebrate this day, we make some gains, no matter how small. Over time, they will aggregate and we shall make progress.
Oh yeah, definitely. So the economic protection of women in later life, of course, it depends on several factors that intersect, including what we are focusing on today. Pension system rules. So you've got to stay for that. We've got some fantastic women that we'll have this amazing conversation with. Happy holiday. It's a holiday. Do you even know why it's a holiday today?
We have this tendency to roll over holidays when they fall on weekends. But, it would be interesting to find out, just a quick thought, to find out when this whole thing about rolling holidays forward started. Because in other jurisdictions, it falls on a weekend. It is a weekend. You don't roll over anything.
I think some of them even deliberately make it a Monday. So there's the bank holiday that you hear.
Yes, some of them are the first Monday of this month. And it's fine. But ours, we seem to roll over. It would actually be interesting to find out when this thing started, if it falls on a weekend, then we roll it over so people can enjoy it. Because, Charlie, I'm on for say, I think we're one of the countries with the most holidays.
Especially when we didn't do anything significantly on the 6th of March. It wasn't, we didn't do the traditional things that we do in the past. And so why is today a holiday? Well, today is a holiday so we can highlight on the women issues.
And
so I like it.
What exactly are we celebrating again? There's a whole lot to celebrate, yes. But in Sempi.
Yeah. All right. In the course of this review, there's a statement that the First Lady, Rebecca Akufo Addo, has issued. We're going to share that with you. And then Mrs. Lodina Mahama is also out with some statement. We'll share that with you. But we've got Very limited newspapers today, obviously, because it's a holiday. I'm actually surprised that we have 3 papers, really, because
and the papers
normally,
are dieting. They are on a diet. So if you look at how Hata...
It's a holiday.
Hata, even the Daily Graphic is. Hi. Let's
just start with the Ghanaian Times newspaper. On the front page of the Ghanaian Times today, let's embrace today's challenges as opportunities for brighter future. That's President Akufo Addo on the 64th Independence Anniversary. Work on $60 million Jamestown Fishing Harbour progresses sturdily. Satellites lift 4th and the 20 AFCON trophy. And this, the paper says, is an Independence Day gift. I told you the satellite, they are like my black stars. 162,541 Ghanaians received COVID-19 vaccine jab. In the center spread, well, the president's message on Independence Day captured here. And of course, the celebration at the Jubilee House, pictures of that also in the center spread of the paper. On the back page, though, the Independence Day gift, satellites lift 4th and the 20 AFCON trophy. Hearts crash wafer 4-0. Is also another story here on the back page of the paper. It's the satellites that we're celebrating after winning the Golden Fleece. There's an extended version of sport right after this review program. Then we get to, if you missed the game, you want to relive those goals and how they won the trophy. We'll bring that to you and conversations around it. On page 3.
It is our hope that they will replicate what in 2008, 2009, Andre Ayew and his team did, going for the world, you know, the Mundial as well. Hopefully they get to that, because their start in this tournament was very shaky. First, I mean, we were one of those teams to qualify as the best 13. We were one of 2 before we started ramping it up, Cameroon going to penalties and all of that. So hopefully they're able to ride this wave and zoom into the
no pressure. No pressure for the
we are giving them pressure.
No pressure, Massa.
We are giving them pressure.
The people that you give fat bonuses to, cry, don't give them pressure. Don't come and put pressure on the satellites. We should give them more. On page 3, GIS arrests 2 suspected recruitment scammers. We tend to have these kind of stories at least every week in one of the papers. There are 2 suspected recruitment scammers. They're in the grips of the Ghana Immigration Service in Tema for allegedly defrauding about 30 unsuspecting victims of more than 250,000 Ghana cedis. The names, Iwa Forsin, 46, and his 71-year-old accomplice called Hackman. And they were arrested following a report by a scam victim to the public relations officer for the Immigration Academy and Training School that she allegedly gave money to a suspect to facilitate her recruitment into the service. So the PRO said the victim assisted 4 officers from the Immigration Academy and Training School to arrest the suspects. And the story goes on. The operations department here, with a collaborative effort from 4 other officers from Asimfosu and with the help of the commander and our regional commander. Okay, well, they don't actually break the issues down in terms of, and this story was picked from our website, myjonline.com, by the way, in terms of how they managed to get these monies. You have to read a lot more of the story, but we keep on saying, and we've been saying here on the show, don't pay monies to third parties. I think when the minister designates, then when they appeared before the appointment committee, they also said the same things. And we've been trying our best, but people still want to go through third parties and pay as much as 250,000, 30 of them.
It has to do with, first of all, the lapses in the system, then the frustrations of ordinary Ghanaians. Because some people have simply come to believe that the normal route won't work unless you know somebody, unless you pull some strings. And when you create that sort of system, when that perception festers, this is what you get.
Yeah.
And it's so difficult convincing the people that no, it's just this route, because they think, no, this person told me this, and I've seen people do this. So I think it
I was going to say that, because often somebody knows someone who went through it through a third party, possibly. Yeah. So when there's evidence to show that it is possible, then they are super confident.
There are so many back doors in the system.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess what you're saying essentially is that it's not enough to tell the people, and we see that the Immigration Service is still telling the general public that don't go through, but when it is possible for others, then it will be difficult.
I mean, what are your people doing behind the scenes?
Yeah, absolutely. But it's sad that people continue to give monies out. The last time it was a pastor who carried himself as a police commander and then took monies from people, promising them that he was going to get them into the police service. We've heard about the military, and this story is about the Immigration Service. So it keeps happening. We can't just continue to warn people when others have found their way into those agencies. But there's another taxi driver murdered at Kole in Kwanta, a sad one. A taxi driver identified as Joshua Amavagba, alias Joe B, believed to be 25 years old, was a resident at Adam Magazine in Koforidua. He was found dead on a plantain farm at the same scene where another taxi driver was found dead a month ago. This is getting scary. It is believed that Amavagba was strangulated by his assailant in a fierce struggle, and the suspect absconded with a brand new taxi cab with registration number ER120821. The body of the deceased driver has been deposited at St. Joseph Hospital morgue by police for preservation. The family members lodged their complaints at the Eastern Regional Police headquarters. There's more to the story on page 3, but it's a really, really sad one, especially when another dead person was found at the same location a month ago. Wow, what's happening? Hey. And then there's a man found dead on Tesano Achimota overhead bridge. And the backstory is that he was found without the decapitated head and was yet to be identified. But police said he might be a cobbler. The attackers are also suspected of kidnapping the victim's wife and child. Tesano Divisional Commander, Assistant Commissioner of Police, Odru Ameni, who confirmed the story, said that he received the news about the crime after a report from a civilian. He indicated someone came to make a report at the station that they had found a headless body, so he rushed to the scene and found a body without a head, which was also bent. We have not been able to identify the victim yet, but we have had some information suggesting that he was a shoemaker, and I'm sure we will be able to identify him soon. Investigations are still ongoing, and this is picked from citynews.com. What is happening?
Did you say burnt as well? So these people were likely trying to hide the identity of this person. Wow. But that is brutal. That is brutal. That is savage. That is inhuman.
Wow.
You know, sometimes you ask yourself where we're getting in society. I don't care what the grounds are. I mean, legally, this is one of the most heinous crimes you could commit, and so there could be no legitimate grounds. But why would you want to do something like this? So gory.
Absolutely.
And on a day like this, it leaves us very bad taste in your mouth.
Well, I'm sure you've seen the story somewhere. 6 MPs to sponsor bipartisan private members' bill on homosexuality. There are 6 members of parliament. They've hinted of jointly sponsoring a bipartisan private members' bill for the House to pass legislation to proscribe and criminalize the advocacy and practice of homosexuality in the country. According to the 6 lawmakers, the bill, if passed, will strengthen Ghana's legal jurisprudence and existing legislation on unnatural carnal knowledge to reflect the current state of affairs. Their names, Sam George, Ningo Pram, Emmanuel Bedra, Ho West, Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa, Noktong, and these are from the NDC side. There's also some NPP MPs, and the Apia Kubi Asante Akim North, John Tim Fojo Asin South, and Kweku Asante Boateng Asante Akim South. So we see 6 of them from the 2 sides coming together and sponsoring a bill like this. There are a lot of people that will support, but trust that they will also get some strong opposition from the other side as well. We'll see how this goes. But it's a good move. The intention is great.
Well, is that it for the paper?
Oh, yes, please. Yeah.
No, if there's more.
Go for the graphic. I'll try it. If there are some.
Because you have the guide as
Oh, you want me to go through the guide? Go through the daily graphic. I'll come back with the guide.
All right. So, work to build resilient nation. That is the banner headline on the front page, or yes, I should say the cover page of the daily graphic. President enjoins citizens. One of the shortest Independence Day celebrations you would ever see, about an hour, with some action in there. And of course, it also is on the back of COVID-19 and what is happening. Black satellites make Ghana proud. And it wasn't only the black satellites. Man U was also making Manchester
Ghana proud. Did they also make Ghana proud?
Oh, yes, they were making the fans in Ghana and across the world extremely proud as they caught Manchester City, the fake Manchester people, caught them,
honestly,
laid them on a table and pew.
You know what happened? I mean, I was so shocked when I had the score, the 1-0, the first half. I was like, huh? Okay, it's still first half, right? Let's wait and see.
Okay.
Then I went back.
To be honest with you,
I didn't watch the game.
To be honest with you, it was a pretty busy day yesterday. I knew the match was coming off. To be honest, I'm in living. I didn't watch the match. Then I just Googled Manchester cautiously at the tail end, and I see 2-0. And then I see that it's on the red end, and I was like, yes! What I did to people on social media. Anyway, so it was our win, but Mama V can only talk about the win. She can't associate herself with the win because I need to remind her she's now moved on to
I'm not associating.
Leeds United, and who knows, from there she just might move on to Crystal Palace. But President Akufo Addo, on the back of Independence Day, telling us to work to build a resilient nation. I'll just look at a few more so we can check out some more details from other papers. We must address women's challenges. That's on page 7. Fellow Ghanaians follow COVID-19 protocols. That's another editorial on that same page that you should check out. On the international front, U.S. Senate passes major $1.9 trillion relief plan. You look at that, and what's the GDP of the entirety of Africa? You look at the numbers, you put that side by side with this, and you realize that, Charlie, we have a whole lot more to do. On page 11, Parliament urged to pass the Affirmative Action Bill as the world marks International Women's Day. And a picture there of Mrs. Frima Oseo-Parry, first female chief of staff. Journey starting all the way from 1908, and 15,000 women marched through New York City demanding shorter working hours, better pay, and the right to vote. And if you know anything about affirmative action, even on the educational front, it's something we still have to work on, a battle we're still fighting to ensure not only equality, but equity, oftentimes, across the board. Let's go to page 20, and Gridco technicians work to restore power. Your neighborhood, have you had power through? Because over the weekend, I went to different places, interestingly, and all these places without power. I was wondering.
Per the statement that Gridco issued, because a lot of places went off. It was a nation because they said they had a sudden shutdown of the entire system. And so all the major power, whatever, were off. But I've been experiencing the low power
the fluctuations,
often, even before the sudden off yesterday. And a lot of people are experiencing that as well. Something is certainly happening. And we need to be finding a lot more answers. We hope that our MPs will do the urgent questioning in Parliament so we can have some proper answers beyond the statement that you would see Gridco issue because they've experienced something. I don't think it's just a matter of what happened yesterday. Something is certainly happening somewhere. Yeah.
And when you read, just a bit of what page 20 says, the Gridco technicians are working to restore power. And like you said, they say it was a result of a challenge experienced in the power system, which led to a total system shutdown. But the situation is being worked on. Two final headlines. Christians urged to take COVID-19 seriously. So I like the fact that, and I like reiterating this, when the religious groupings and other groupings keep coming in and informing their members, look, take this seriously. And Kumasi Zoo reopens. It's been a while, so they're finally back on their feet. Finally, on the back page, Hearts whitewash Wafa 4-0. That's a good one for the Rainbow Boys. In fact, now they've leapfrogged my Krobia Kumasi Asante Kotoko, and they are now 3 points adrift of us. They are in number 4 position with 27, and we are in number 8 with 24. But you know that it's only a matter of time. Hearts, they don't go fit we. It's just a matter of time before Kotoko comes back to its rightful position.
Wow. Let's do the Daily the Daily Guide newspaper. That's the last paper we have on the front page. Of course, the satellite's 64th gift is the best we could receive this year. Let's build together. That's President's call to Nigerians to hang. Jury satisfied. That's the kidnapped Takoradi girls. That incident. The 2 who were being tried have been found guilty, and they've been convicted, essentially.
It's been a 2-year journey.
28 ministers sworn in as well. That's how the front page of the paper looks like. In the center spread, and every celebrity is wise. That's actor Prince David Osei saying, well, not every human being is wise. Extend that. More tears for Bob Pistol as well. A 1-week observation was held to honor the memory of the late award-winning photographer on Thursday at his residence at Ablikumai, suburb of Accra. And you know, I spoke to a very good friend who was really close to him, and the backstory is unbelievable. He has a very young family, 3 children, and he just, oh God. Those who were close to him say he was a really kind person, really, really nice.
You know, it's said that it's the things you do, how you make people feel, that remains after you're gone.
Yeah.
And so if people give this sort of testament to your life, and I think you have lived and lived well.
Yeah. How about court finding a presenter for committing adultery? This happened in Nigeria. It's for real. It's a high court in Port Harcourt that, you know, gave this conviction. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there are countries where...
They have
I'm not saying it's
records
not.
And
there are countries where these things are done that, you just think about...
He was to pay 5 million naira for committing adultery. Okay. And yeah.
What would the equivalent of that be in CDs?
Not sure.
You know, I'm going to do this. Yes, I'm going to do this. 5 million.
A lot of Nigerians have been reacting since this ruling on the 18th of February. and the guy...
Okay, so 5 million naira is actually 75,305 Ghana cedis. And that forms out 75K.
Okay, that's less than 100,000 Ghana cedis.
Less than, okay. So it's a fourth of 100,000 Ghana cedis.
Okay.
Or a third, I should say.
Okay. Yo.
75K. Papa no waboka. Waboka rough.
Oh, but I hear.
Hey,
sure he'll pay.
Well, it depends on.
He'll pay. Okay, let's say.
75K right now. Would you be able to give it to me?
No, sir. But I haven't offended you, right?
Oh no, not at all.
Yeah, but in this instance, if you've offended, if you've committed an illegality, you would find the money and pay.
Wait, yeah. Your freedom or your money. Anyway.
Yeah, but some things can't be restored, right? The reputation. I don't know how he's going to do that. Okay, now let's talk about International Women's Day just before we make way for sport. Of course, throughout on our show today, everything we're doing is because of this day. But the First Lady, President Akufo Addo, has issued a statement. We just want to read portions of that to you. She added a beautiful picture of herself, and this is what she's had to say. And I'm just going to forward because it's quite a long statement on International Women's Day. She says there is a parallel global campaign theme, Choose to Challenge, highlighting the importance of challenging biases and misconceptions in the interest of creating a more inclusive and gender equal world. So in celebration of the day, it continues to be very relevant because of the many issues concerning women and girls that deserve to be highlighted and given the requisite attention. Ghana, commended by the World Health Organization for her resilience in the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic, is making her presence felt amidst the prevailing challenges by using the occasion to focus on the effects of the pandemic on women and girls and map out strategies to ease their suffering. This is critical because right from the onset of the pandemic around the end of 2019, women have been identified as frontliners in managing the crisis in their role as health workers, caregivers, innovators, and community organizers, among others. This is just portion of the statement that the First Lady has issued. Here is a challenge to choose to challenge in acknowledgement of the theme for International Women's Day. Watch this.
An equal world is an enabled world. A gender-equal world can be healthier, wealthier, and more harmonious. I am responsible for my own thoughts and actions. My actions, conversations, behaviors, and mindsets can have an impact on our larger society. I therefore stand for gender-equal boardrooms, gender-equal governments, gender-equal workplaces, and gender-equal communities. I stand for more gender equality in health and wealth. I will take actions and decisions to make it happen. As I strike the choose to challenge pose,
I challenge.
I challenge.
I challenge.
I challenge.
I challenge.
I choose to challenge.
it is my commitment to a gender-equal world.
I challenge.
I challenge.
I challenge.
I challenge.
I challenge.
I choose to challenge.
I will actively choose to challenge stereotypes, fight bias, broaden perceptions, and celebrate women's achievements.
I choose to challenge.
Together, we will create a gender-equal world.
I choose to challenge.
Together, we can make change happen.
All right, and the former First Lady, Mrs. Lordina Dramani Mahama, has also joined the hashtag Choose to Challenge campaign. Here's what she's put out. Women in leadership achieving an equal future in a COVID-19 world. We must together recognize the tremendous efforts of female doctors, nurses, caregivers, scientists, and researchers in the battle against the pandemic. We must continue to push for greater reforms to promote the interests of women and protect them from all forms of violence. Keep making the world a better place. Keep inspiring. Ayiko, she says, and that's former First Lady of Ghana and President of the Lordina Foundation, Mrs. Lordina Dramani Mahama.
You know, I just want to add this, that on behalf of the men, I also raise not just one hand, but both, and challenge with all of you. You know, like you said,